Welcome! If you're feeling exhausted by the constant noise of daily life and you're craving some profound inner peace, well, you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we're skipping the mystical jargon and diving straight into a practical, step-by-step roadmap to dhyana, or deep meditative concentration, drawn directly from ancient wisdom. Let's kick things off with a question that honestly feels more relevant now than ever. In a world that is just overflowing with notifications, anxiety, and nonstop sensory overload, how do we actually find a mind as calm as still water? It's a huge challenge, right? To solve it, we need a genuinely systematic approach. To reach that level of calm, we're going to walk through a highly structured 5-step framework. Lighting the lamp of wisdom, rebuking the 5 desires, sweeping the 5 hindrances, practicing the 5 methods, and finally, a beginner's meditation technique.
So, step 1, lighting the lamp of wisdom. Before we even think about sitting down to meditate, we have to understand why we're training our minds in the first place. The source material uses this incredible analogy. Wisdom in a scattered mind is like a flickering oil lamp in a gale force wind. It's completely useless for lighting up a room. But if you place that same lamp inside a sealed, windless room, its light shines perfectly. This shows us that without the sealed room of concentration, all your natural intelligence just gets blown away by daily worries.
Moving on to step 2. Rebuking the 5 desires. This is all about avoiding external traps. Before we can build that windless room, we have to recognize the external traps that drain our energy every single day. These are the 5 desires: form or visuals, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Basically, this is the sensory overload from the outside world. It's the constant stream of stimuli that hijacks our attention and keeps our minds racing. To really drive home how dangerous these sensory distractions can be, the ancient texts use some incredibly visceral metaphors. The most striking one compares chasing these desires to licking honey off a sharp knife. Think about that for a second. The greedy person is so focused on that tiny drop of sweetness, they don't even realize their tongue is being sliced open. It perfectly captures how chasing fleeting sensory pleasures usually ends up bringing us way more pain than happiness. The texts go even further, comparing this pursuit to a dog desperately chewing on a completely dry, meatless bone, just getting hungrier and hungrier, or a moth flying blindly into a flame. The crucial takeaway here for beginners isn't to just forcefully close your eyes. It's to actually recognize these 5 desires for the dangerous illusions they are. That realization is your very first step in taking back control of your focus. Now for step 3, sweeping the 5 hindrances. This is where we shift from dodging external traps to calming our internal storms. Here we are looking inward at the 5 hindrances: sensual desire, anger, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry and doubt. Why are they called hindrances or coverings? Because these toxic mental states act like a thick, heavy blanket that completely blocks out the natural clarity and brilliance of your mind. The contrast here is absolutely wild. A mind trapped by these hindrances is described as a sun blocked by thick smoke and dust. But when you manage to sweep them away, the texts describe the relief as profound. It's literally compared to the feeling of suddenly paying off a massive debt, waking up fully healed from a severe illness, or finally escaping a dark prison. It's pure freedom. And out of all these hindrances, anger is highlighted as the most destructive. The source material warns that when anger covers the mind, a person can no longer tell good from bad or benefit from harm. It just blinds you. So letting go of these internal roadblocks, especially anger, is an absolute, non-negotiable requirement if we want to cultivate any real sense of serenity.
That brings us to step 4, practicing the 5 methods to build our inner sanctuary.
Now that we've cleared away the mental brush, we need the right tools. The texts give us the 5 dharmas, or 5 methods. It's a very rhythmic, powerful sequence. First, the desire to emerge, meaning a strong motivation to be free from mental noise. Then comes vigor and effort, followed by mindfulness to keep your target in sight, skillful wisdom to navigate challenges, and finally, it all culminates in one-pointedness. Let's zoom in on that last one-pointedness. This means constantly, firmly binding your mind to a single object of focus, absolutely refusing to let it scatter or drift away. This is the ultimate goal of those previous tools, and truthfully, it's the foundational bedrock of all authentic meditation. Without one-pointedness, there is no dhyana. Finally, step 5, a beginner's meditation method to actually achieve that focus. So, we've got the theory down, but how do we practically achieve this one-pointedness? The text introduces a foundational method called Anapanasati. In plain English, that's mindfulness of breathing. It is brilliantly simple. You're just using the physical act of breathing as a concrete anchor for your wandering mind.
Here is the exact breakdown for beginners. First, find a quiet place away from external distractions. Then, focus your awareness purely on your breath. As you do this, you have to actively let go of coarse, distracting thoughts. The text calls this vitaka. After that, you release even the finer analytical thoughts, known as vitara. By peeling away these layers of mental noise one by one, you gently enter the joy of the first dhyana.
And what does hating that state of focus actually feel like? The ancient writings describe it beautifully. It's like a person who has been suffering from unbearable heat finally plunging into a cool, refreshing pond. It's an immense, indescribable joy and a deep inner peace. It's a complete oasis away from the chaos of the world. By following this method, a mind that has been cleared of those toxic hindrances and firmly anchored to the breath transforms into something incredible. It reveals a breathtaking, serene, and unshakable inner landscape. You are quite literally turning a chaotic consciousness into your own personal, pristine, pure land, just overflowing with clarity. We've covered a lot of ground today. We looked at why a scattered mind is so weak, how to defend against those sneaky external 5 desires, how to sweep away the internal 5 hindrances, and how to use your breath as an anchor. So I want to leave you with this. Will you take the first step today to clear your mental clouds and build your very own unshakable inner sanctuary? I really hope this guide helps you find that stillness.